Okay, so let's move how we can create it. Let's try again. So you can see this particular warning message is coming to you, the same process. After processing through the warning message, I just clicked on OK. So once I have taken this, you can see there is a prompt screen coming up, but I don't want to record all this text code on this particular request. So if you want a different request to be created for this, you need to go to this create request. So for every separate area we create different request. So text code creation, and you can put the date so that it's easier to understand when this was prepared or this configurations was done. So once you do this, then you can click onto the OK part, and your text codes will get. Now you can see these screens are coming up when you created a new request. So you need to select from out of these all text codes that which text codes you want to be taken from this particular client to the next client, or you want to export which text codes you want to export. So I would be exporting A5, which I have created, A0, V8 and V0. So once you select these all, you have picked all the text code by selecting them and the jurisdiction area you wish to transport. It was important to transport all, means all these together. So now we can go to the save screen and we can save this. So once you did, you can see over here a message is generated, text code included in request number so and so. So this is how you need to create manual request. Basically normal configurations is that whenever you do any configuration, the configuration gets saved in a particular request, which is an automate generated request. But when you need to create a manual request, that is to be created in this way. So that is it, how you would be creating the text code. Once you will move this particular TR, or you can say the travel request, which is coming over here, this is termed as the request or the travel request. Once this is moved in a production environment means the live system in which the organization work. In after that, all these text code get copied over there, and these text codes can be used simply by the users or by the organizations there. So this is how you would be creating the text code in SAP system. Now moving next is specify base amount. Now what is this base amount is? When we calculate text, suppose we want to calculate 5% or 10% or 8%, on what base amount you want this to be calculated. Suppose there is an invoice amount of $100. You want the text to be calculated on $100, or if there is any kind of a discount, suppose there is a discount of 2% or there is a discount of 10% on $100, so the net amount comes out to be $90. So the business need to take a call, or as per their business requirement or business scenarios, they need to decide whether they will be calculating the taxes on the gross value or the net value. So as per the taxing authorities, they need to follow those rules. So the specify base amount is something which decides whether the tax to be calculated on the gross value or the net value. So let's see where we do this configuration is on a screen. So now we need to go to the path again. So it is SPRO financial accounting new. Then we'll move to financial accounting global settings. Here there is text on sales and purchases. Then we'll move to calculations, and here you can see the specify base amount. So we can click onto the specify base amount, and you can see that my company code is over here. Now there is a tick mark over here. There is a last column which says tax base net. So if you click on this net, it will start calculating the taxes on the net amount. Otherwise it will calculate on the gross value. So what you want to take, accordingly you can configure your system. So I will not be marking this. I will not be selecting as a net tax base, but if you want, you can even go and you can try that, and how the changes comes up on the calculation, you can check that. So this is a particular optional part, but you should know how this gross and net calculation is done for taxing. So there is nothing in it. Moving up to the next, create GL master for tax. So as of now, you have created number of masters, GL masters by now in general ledger accounting, then accounts payable, accounts receivables. So in the same manner, you will be creating certain GLs over here, but the GL descriptions and their purpose would be different. So now we have created tax codes. We have seen that there are two types of tax codes. One is input tax and another is output tax. So obviously when the value will flow, the values will flow on a particular GL account, which is known as the ledger account. So we need to define the GL account for input and the output tax. So you would be creating your own GL master account for input taxes and output taxes, like as we can see in this screen. The transaction code is FS00. So you can already see that the GL is already created by my side, but otherwise you can create your own this GL account. For sales tax, the GL account is already created 200002, where it has been taken in the liability head. So when you will be creating your GL, you must remember that the output tax is a liability, because you collect the taxes on sales from the consumers, and at the end you are liable to pay these taxes to the government. That's why the sales tax account is a liability for you, where you need to fill the short text and the long text. When you move to the next tab, that is the control account, you need to mark all categories, and you need to select the posting without text allowed, and you need to mark this line item display, so that all your documents will have a display or a line items in it. Otherwise you will not find any line item, and you cannot refer them later on if you have not marked the line item display. Moving next is create bank interest. So in this you need to assign the filled status groups, that will be G001. So this is how you will be creating your sales tax account, and once you fill all these details, you can go and you can save this screen, and your GL master will be defined. Same way you will be defining your input tax account as well as in this screen. Same way, input tax is basically what you have paid on the purchases. So whatever you have paid on the purchases is a part of your asset, because whatever you have collected as sale tax and what you have paid as an input tax, the net of those two are taken as an income tax, are taken as a return, as a tax returns in normal accounts and finance. So same way it works over here. The input tax will be defined as an asset, and then you will be filling the description to the GL. Next, rest of things are as usual as it is in the sales tax account. We'll be selecting the star for tax category, we'll selecting the posting without tax allowed, we'll select the line item display as it was in the sales tax account, and the next tab you need to take the field status group as G001. So in this way you will be creating your two GL account. One is for output taxes and one is for input taxes. Now moving up to the next screen is defining the tax account. So now over here what we do is we define the GL account, or we can say that we assign the GL account as we created sales tax account and the input tax account against the tax codes which we created. Because until you assign one tax code to the GL account, the system will not be able to decide whether I have to take this A5 sales tax to sales tax ledger account or input ledger account. So for understanding of the system, we need to assign the tax codes with the GL account. So over here we will be assigning the accounts to the respective tax codes. So the transaction code is OB40, and you can see there's different transactions reflecting over here, and most of them have their descriptions assigned. So when we created A5, A0, V5, V8 and V0, we defined the percentages against the transaction, that is the account key. The account key there is known as the transaction over here. So over here in the screen we will be defining the GL account against those account keys which we assigned in the tax codes. The same will be taken as a transaction over here on the screen. So once first we go to moving over here, you can see I have double clicked on MW3, and when I clicked it asked for the chart of account. So once I have filled the chart of account 1000, then we'll continue, and you can see the screen displays you two things. One is the tax code and the account. So you need to assign your tax code over here for sales tax, and you need to assign your account, that is the GL account, in which your tax value will flow to. So now moving to the tax code, I have defined the tax code. One is A5 and another is A0, and against that I will be defining the GL accounts. I will go for searching the account because I don't remember what is the GL account number, so I need to search that. So moving over on the screen, let's search where the sales tax account is. So here it is, you need to select it, and the same GL account will come from there to the next line, because I need my taxes to be flown to this particular GL account only. So once you have assigned this to this, now we can move and we can save this screen, and your GL will be assigned. So save, and your GL is assigned over here, and you can see it asks you that the customize. So you can see that I have not went on the screen and created the manual request and all. This pop-up always comes when you do configurations, and when these pop-up come automatically, that means an auto request is generated. So I can click on to save. So this configuration will get saved with this particular request, in which we